for Anderson. Mitchell trying to shed Scott Clark, nothing doing. Nearly 3 minutes gone by in the second half. Scott with a tough leaner. Brown can't grab it, last touching Taekwon Brown and out of bounds.
Well, Scott making a more concerted effort to get to the basket, but he was disappointed in himself that he couldn't make that little shot.
In the regular season, each team winning on their home floor. Quick start for the Jacks today. And there's a shove on Fells. Team foul number 2 this half. And for Fells, it's first. Baseline out of bounds, Sperling to trigger, pound the ball with his right hand. Lob for Scott. Scott Clark. The mystery of the matchup zone. Broom looking for a seam, nice pass on the inside. Tapped up and in. Looked like that was Hunter.
Yes, 16 for him.
Averaged 11.5 against the Broncos in the regular season. Brown. Deflected on the inside.
Well, that is just great defense by Brandon Sperling, the anticipation there. And this is after Hunter in amongst the big guys, able to tip that in. Almost got goaltending call there, though.
Eight-point spread. Little more than 4 minutes gone by in the second half. Scott Clark. The three no good. Rebound run down from Anderson. And Pomona looking to push. Brown with a right-handed finish.
They're going to start going to that well more often because he's showing that nobody can really guard him in the box there.
Bad pass from Sperling, but a foul on Cal Poly Pomona on the inside, to the chagrin of Greg Kamansky. Brown working middle. It's a 6-point spread. Humboldt State with the lead in the CCAA semifinal. A berth in the championship game on the line from UCSD. Humboldt State with the lead over Cal Poly Pomona. Looking at the CCAA regular season standings. 12-team league, 8 making the tournament, and very balanced at the top, Joe.
Well, you talk about wide open. When you got the number 4 seed in Sonoma having swept Chico State during the regular season, and if Pomona were to somehow win this game, let's say they matched up with Sonoma, well, Pomona was swept by Sonoma too, so Sonoma has sort of the edge on a couple of teams above them.
3-game separation, 1 through 6. Teams reseeded after round 1, played on campus sites. Sperling to Traeger, throws into the backcourt for Broom. Humboldt State has led throughout by as many as 14. Scott Clark working baseline. Nice pass on the inside, locating Baxter in a foul. It's on Anderson. Make that Bryce Brady on the foul.
Well, now that's 5 team fouls on Cal Poly and none on the other side for Humboldt. So that'll be a factor here down the stretch.
Kyle Baxter, the foul shooter. Rolls in a pair. Can play all 5 positions. Lead back to 8. Deron Scott, checked by Sperling. They switch the ball screen. Repost, Brady for 3 off the mark. Here comes Broom again. Tremendous floor game in the first half. Pass off the mark, deflected. Last touching Randy Hunter, out of bounds. Pass a little hot from that man, Scott Clark.
Well, Cal Poly Pomona, they just have not been able to get into rhythm offensively. Even when they get a look at the basket, it just seems like whoever's shooting it has not been in the flow.
Fells down low, stay with it. Can't finish with the left hand. Wants it to get on the post. Got it right box. Coming over late was Broom, and a foul on the inside. Looks like that was on Kyle Baxter.
That's going to be his third, and that's a matchup that the Broncos like because they think that Fells can out-muscle Baxter, and that certainly was the case there. Problem is, you get Baxter in foul trouble, then all of a sudden, here comes Matt Lipsky, 6'9", 265. There's no more muscle advantage down there. Humboldt has shot so well today, over 50%.
And doing it from beyond the arc as well. Good ball movement. Anderson for three, no good. Great work on the board from Scott and a fresh shot clock. Rosser, count if it goes, does not go. Matt Rosser will shoot a pair.
Didn't take long for Lipsky to pick up another foul, his third. But that is a nice job of drawing the foul too by Rosser because he was able to contort his body away from the big man to draw the foul and have a chance at making a shot. Double figures now for Rosser.
Was a starter on the championship team a couple years ago. Really enjoys his role coming off the bench.
He won the national championship.
2 straight trips to the championship game. Within range. Down as many as 14 within 6. Lipsky locates Broom. Tough pass from the inside. Maybe a poor decision. Maybe his first poor decision of the game.
Yeah, you gotta know your personnel.
Fells knock over Lipsky. Count if it goes, and bring Fells to the line for a chance at 3 as Lipsky hits the deck.
Yeah, Lipsky is shaken up. That's his 4th foul, but he went down hard. I don't care how big you are. When you go down that hard on his backside there, it was hard to get up. But he does go off on his own power, and they had to take him out of the game. He got 2 fouls there in the span of about a minute and a half.
Tremendous degree of difficulty for Fells, who's performed well off the bench today.
Well, now you've got Lipsky with 4 fouls. Baxter, who came back into the game, number 22, he has 3 fouls, so it's a tough situation for Coach Kinder as far as who to play for your guy down low.
Probably would want to go with Fells again and get it to him as soon as you can down low.
Exactly. You're looking at trying to foul somebody out.
Down to 3 with plenty of time remaining.
It was once a 14-point lead in the first half for Humboldt.
Broncos closed the half with an 8-0 run over 4 minutes. Lumberjacks need a basket in a big way. Three from the corner short from Austin Bryan. Last touching Cal Poly Pomona and out of bounds.
Haven't been able to get Bryan going in the second half. He had 7 in the first half. Has not been able to score in this half as of yet in the first 7 minutes.
7 minutes gone by in the second. Humboldt State 45, Cal Poly Pomona 42. Broom. Not much of a score. Entry pass on the inside. Hunter for Bryan, counted and one!
Oh, what passing on the interior. I mean, unselfish there by Hunter. Some players would have just gone right up with this thing, but the feed to Bryan, just great passing all the way around. And quick passing, accurate, finding a little space in the defense there, which is not easy to do against the #1 defense in the land.
Close quarters pass as if in a phone book, rather a phone booth. About 3 feet away. Fells goes to the bench for Cal Poly Pomona. Big basket for Humboldt State.
Ethan Dillard just checked in, the freshman from Reno.
Taking out Broom. Ryan's free throw spins off. Rebound secured by Brown for Cal Poly Pomona. After a 20th win on the season. 19-7, 15-7 in the CCAA. Humboldt State 20-7. Rodriguez with a drive, can't finish. Work on the glass from Brown, though, and a foul.
Once again, Tyquan Brown getting the position down there. There's Brown just following it up. He flew in there to get to that basketball. But the foul allowing free throws here for Daniel Rodriguez, the freshman.
Putting Brown on the line.
Cal Poly Pomona has the advantage on the offensive glass, 11-7. They've had their chances at the second chance points.
Brown well traveled, a couple of JC stops, and then UC Riverside before landing in Pomona. Chance to finish his career with an outstanding program. Gets his team within 3.
Last time Pomona led in this game, it was 2-0. So it's been Humboldt the entire game.
Extending the defense. Sperling can't finish, and a foul. Different look in that Cal Poly defense, the Cal Poly Pomona defense, extending it. Sperling working middle.
Anderson got his second foul there, and Sperling's done it all for this team. He's played outstanding defense. He's made some really sharp passes, and now trying to get into double figures here at the free throw line. But leading ever since it was 2-0 Cal Poly, Humboldt had to have some really good confidence going in the first half, up 14, but they didn't score at the end of the first half in the last 5 minutes. They can't allow that to happen here in the second half if they're going to win this game.
As a team, Humboldt State 70% from the foul line on the year. Sperling 75%. Bumps the lead back to 5. Anderson creates off the bounce. Create the contact and one, and bring Anderson to the line for a chance at 3.
Boy, great job, and the bonus is that Baxter gets his 4th foul. You wondered how Baxter would play with 3 fouls there, but he played it tough. And finally, Anderson is the aggressor. I mean, he only has 5 points in this game. Came in as the leading scorer, averaging 14.6 per game. You just wondered, when was he going to try to take over a little bit?
Anderson scored 21 points in the second meeting between these two teams.
Baxter had to come out there with the 4 fouls. So you got Baxter and Lipsky both on the bench with 4.
Lumberjacks is trying to survive now. Anderson's free throw is in to finish off the 3-point play. Within 2. After trailing by as many as 14. Kick on Rosser. Off his left shoe. Cal Poly Pomona on the ropes, but crawling back in it with shots like from Fells. Now within a deuce. Back with more from UCSD right after this. Cal Poly Pomona making a charge now within a deuce at 49-47. Let's go courtside to Gianna.
Thank you, and I am courtside with former head coach of Humboldt State, Tom Wood. Thank you for joining me. Now 29 years at the helm. Is it harder to sit in the stands and watch the game?
Oh yeah, it's torture up there. When I'm sitting on a bench, I always thought I had some control. Up in the stands, I have no control.
Now, Coach Kinder was your assistant for 20 years. What advice would you give to him right now?
Well, he just got to keep doing what he's doing. Hopefully the momentum will switch back to the Jacks and try to keep those guys out of foul trouble. We're really strapped right now with fouls.
And you guys have a great college town. What's it like playing, being a former coach at Humboldt State, coming to the games and stuff at Lumberjack Stadium?
I didn't hear the question.
What's it like being Humboldt, a great college town?
Oh, it's just fantastic. Our fans and our student body and our alumni really get behind the Jacks up. It's very special.
Very good. Thank you so much for joining us. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Gianna. Humboldt State with the basketball, trying to add on to the lead.
Pomona's done a good job on the boards in the second half, out-rebounding Humboldt 9-5. That's something we're going to look at here in the last 11:45 of the game.
Rebounding was even after the first 20 minutes. Broom looking for a seam, shut off and slipped.
He thought he got fouled, but looked like he just lost his footing there, and he did. His right foot just gave way.
Lost an edge, the 8th turnover for Humboldt State on the day. Playing for the tie or the lead. Rodriguez, shot clock inside of 20. Attack the goal, can't finish in a foul.
Rodriguez has been really good at driving to the basket.
The foul on Austin Bryan. That's his first. And for the Jacks, 6 fouls this half.
He's doubled up on his season average. Coach Kamansky likes what he's seeing in this second half.
After splitting a pair, one away from a tie. 49-48. Lumberjacks on top with the basketball. The prize for the winner, a berth in the final tomorrow. Sperling locates Hunter on the elbow, attack the goal. Can't finish the leaner. Ball loose inside. This time the held ball arrow points to Humboldt State. Winner of the conference tournament, an automatic bid to the NCAA West Regional. 8 teams in the West advance. Brown taking his seat. Fells back on. DJ Broom at 5'5". Austin Bryan. This is Brandon Sperling, a transfer from Fresno State. Shot clock at 15. Hunter going to work. Double comes late. Scoop it up, no, and a foul. Looks like Fells from here.
That's third on Anderson, and you can see just ducking under, using some strength there for Randy Hunter. He's been a little quiet in the second half after he had 12 in the first half. He's got 16 in the game and 4 in the second half, so he wanted to get more involved.
That foul was on Anderson. Fells coming over late. Hunter's free throw is in. Look at the rankings. Chico State automatically, at least when you talk to their coaching staff and those surrounding their program, they believe that they're in. Everybody else jockeying for position.
Yeah, that's real tight there to get into that 8th spot.
Lead Mushrooms back to 3. As Hunter makes a pair. 3 automatic bids, 5 at large. Deron Scott used the ball screen, pick up the dribble. Locate Anderson.
Wow, great defense again by Sperling.
Rosser. A foul with under 10 on the shot clock.
Bailed out right there. Scott Clark, his second, just really disappointed that he would get a foul called there. The shot clock running down. Puts him to the line for 1-and-1. 8th team foul for Humboldt State.
Seven fouls for Cal Poly Pomona. Rosser bangs in the free throw. Steve Kinder's team led by as many as 14 points. Now hanging on by 1.
Are we headed to another buzzer beater? I mean, Cal Poly Pomona's had 2 straight buzzer beater wins.
It's been the nature of this tournament in round 1, 3 of the 4 games going down to the wire. The higher seeds held, but had to fight to do so. Shot clock at 15. What a steal. Anderson ahead of the pack. And ram it home.
What a play by Rosser. Just putting up his hands, something you practice all the time. In practice, you're always told to put your hands up. And he did a great job there. Last Friday.
Anderson giving the team the lead, and of course he was the hero last Friday.
Yeah, he was hero by miracle, really, when you think about it. I mean, first off, you had Pomona scoring on that 3, and then the 3 where it was debatable whether he was on the line or not, and time was down to 0.6 seconds to get a shot, which is almost impossible, but you watch here the take and the shot from past half court by Anderson. Did a great job of letting the ball bounce so the clock didn't start, and then taking that shot, and that was all over the place. I mean, ESPN Sports Center, and everybody was talking about that shot.
Courtesy of Cal Poly Sports Information, the Anderson 3. And that was a big shot for them because a tournament seed was on the line.
It was, and you know what's interesting about that? The guy who hit the 3-pointer prior to that miracle shot, I'll talk about him in a second. I mean, there was that steal and then the dunk by Anderson. But the guy who hit the 3-pointer where I said he was on the line from Cal State Dominguez Hills, Robert Wilhite. Well, guess who hit the buzzer beater that beat Humboldt State in the championship game here last year for Cal State Dominguez Hills? Robert Wilhite, same guy.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
But, you know, so Coach Kinder didn't want to hear us talking about his name. And Pomona didn't mind because that shot didn't matter in the end because of their miracle shot.
Finally with the lead. First since 2-0. 52-51. Cal Poly Pomona, the Broncos, finally ahead.
And Steve Kinder, he knows he's got to get his team to regroup. You start to lose a little confidence when you know that you led by as much as 14.
And we're in complete control of this game. Now down, that matchup zone even tougher to deal with. Hunter looking for a seam, nothing there. Another steal. Anderson with a rip. Numbers that they wanted. What a shot blocked by Sperling. Last touching Anderson and out of bounds.
Wow, they've turned it up a notch, the Broncos have defensively. And give credit to Sperling because after that turnover, he didn't sit there and sulk about it. He got back and played great defense.
A berth in the final on the line.
Humboldt playing some zone.
Mostly man. Anderson, the zone breaker. For 3.
He is alive and well after he was asleep in the first half. Now 8 in the second half, 11 in the game.
An 18-point turnaround. And Humboldt beginning to unravel. A foul on the Jacks, Austin Bryan.
Unravel is an understatement, and Anderson, he's finding his jumper. I mean, that wasn't there in the first half. All of a sudden, they're finding him, he's open, and Humboldt's turning the ball over left and right. You got to give credit to the Broncos defense. They've tightened it up. Doesn't seem like there's as much room to pass the ball. And the quick passing that was there in the first half for Humboldt State, it's not happening anymore. And you could see the frustration on their bench.
Now up to 14 turnovers for the game. Still shooting 50% from the floor. Rosser bangs in the free throw.
He has 14. It's a 12-2 run now. The last last 4 minutes for Pomona.
Rosser 8 of 8 from the foul line today. Now 9 for 9. Broncos by 6. A 20-point swing. Sperling. Tough leaner, left is short. Rebound Fells for Cal Poly Pomona.
Boy, they can't get an easy shot now. Just impossible.
Kamansky barking out play instructions. Shot clock at 15. Looking to bust this zone. Anderson for a 3 from the other side. Rebound comes off to Broom. DJ one man to beat. Attack the goal. Throw it up and in! And bring Broom to the line for a chance at 3.
Wow, you talk about speed. Just accelerating to the basket, avoiding a couple of guys that are a lot bigger. And Broom, he would not be denied getting to that basket and just laid it up there hoping that he would get a nice little roll, and he did his first basket of the game.
Swept up away by the enthusiasm of Broom. Humboldt State trying to get back into it. More of the semis coming up in just a moment.
Well, at halftime, things weren't looking so great for Pomona and Mitchell Anderson, as he only had 3 points, but he's got 8 in the second half, now 11 in the game. He's become a force. He's starting to run the floor more, finding his shot, and that's always fun when you get to finish off a turnover there, and there's been plenty of those in the second half, and finding the outside jumper flowing as well.
Rosser with 15 to face the Broncos, one of 3 players in double figures. Hunter leading Humboldt State with 18, Sperling with 11. Broom, after his first field goal, looking to polish off the 3-point play. Off the mark. Rebound Anderson. 4-point lead for Cal Poly Pomona. Teams that split in the regular season, each winning at home. Jack's playing zone. Anderson may have walked, he did.
Good call right there. This didn't look like there was a foul. Everybody was getting all ball. And sooner or later, you had to make that call traveling.
A lot of traffic.
Good team defense.
Lumberjacks down 4. Dribble weave with Broom and Bryant. $15 to shoot it. Broom penetrates, lose the handle, get it back. Tries to find Sperling on the inside, and Brandon banks it home.
Brandon Sperling, DJ Broom.
Talk about a guy who does everything for your team. Sperling has done that tonight, or today, for Humboldt State.
For Broom, his 7th assist on the afternoon. Fells, double comes late. Can't finish in a foul. 2 shots in the ball, wow.
I don't know about that. I mean, was that an intentional foul? Oh yeah, it was. Actually over the back there. I didn't see that initially, but Hunter gets that foul. And you could see he draped his arms on the shoulder there, or one arm on the shoulder of Fells. So that was an intentional foul.
Fells, a 53% foul shooter heading into play today. 29 out of 55.
Good job by the officiating crew here. The last minute or so, there have been some key calls that they did an outstanding job on.
Brown back on for Pomona. with Rodriguez taking a seat. So going bigger. Bell's missing a pair. You be the judge.
You know, watch the right arm of Hunter. And actually both. He had both arms there just pulling back. You want to foul him hard.